Okay, so one final thing that I forgot to put in the last video is how do you export this thing? Um, so we have here our footage all composited nicely, and I'm going to actually trim this from 30 seconds because it's not going to need that long, and just have that cycle, and you can preview it up here. So here you can see I've created just this nice little cycle, and it's composited on the background. That all looks good. And so now it's time to export. So we'll just go up here, File, Export. And I personally like to use Media Encoder because it just gives you a lot of nice presets. So let's do that. I'm going to add it to Encoder, and that's going to open up automatically. So we just have to wait. There we go. And here's my project here. And you can see, since I use H.264 a lot, it's already kind of set that way, but we can check the settings by clicking on that. And so we're using H.264. We have a high bit rate, and you want to just check that your output and your source are compatible here. So the output we really want to be concerned about 1920 by 1080, 24 frames per second, and you can see that's 6 seconds long. That seems about right. And then there's this thing down here called bit rates, and generally 1920 by 1080 you want to have these set here around 10 and 12. The higher the bit rate, the more information is, and the larger your file size. And the smaller the bit rate, the smaller your file size will be, but you'll have kind of more artifacts in the compression. And double check that the range is the work area down here, because you don't want to, export that full 30 seconds where nothing is happening. You just want the stuff that you have. So the work area is what we set before when we moved this little thing here. This is our work area. So we have that set. We can go back to Media Encoder, and we just designate where it's going to go. That's fine. I can put it on my desktop. Maybe I'll put it on my desktop, call it no, save, and off we go. And then you hit this little green arrow, and it will start rendering it. And depending on how fast your computer is and the amount of compression you've got, it could take a long time or a little time. But that will end up right where you put it, and it will be ready to turn in.